So
I just wanted to ask you about this because I go back to sort of any manager coming into the game will say, I love the way Klopp plays, I love the way Pep plays, I want to press from the front, I want to push up high. The Red Bull model is all the teams play a similar sort of way, but not anybody can become the manager there. You've obviously had that job. I mean, how do you coach it? How do you train it?
So, first thing, Red Bull's kind of described in a lot of different ways. I've heard it as pressing football. I've heard it as gegenpressing, counter-pressing football. For me, it's about controlling spaces. And you can already see with this concept of how we use the net and what it means to make sure that we're compact enough at all moments to control whatever happens, but also wide enough to have space to be able to play the kind of football we want to play. In this exercise, we put the goal at the 18 that we're defending, and we're playing with no goalkeeper.
18-yard line.
Yeah, right? And so when we play with, and the opponent can score, can shoot on the goal once they get past the half line. So what it does is it forces every player tactically to understand where we want to be to try to create angles and opportunities to play with the ball in combination in possession. But for sure, anytime we lose it, we have to be close enough to counterpress, and we have to be close enough with the rest defense in the back.
Can I ask you something about that then? You know that actual session you're talking about, is that your session, or would that be a session that's almost in the Red Bull sort of methodology coaching book for all the teams about this is the style we want to play, these are the sessions that go with it?
So we have a lot of training methodologies and similar training exercises. This one was something that we came up with on our own. And again, we will often create provocational rules. Sometimes I'll say if we play a lower division team or we're in preseason, we're going to play an opponent that we know we're better than, that anytime the opponent connects a pass in our defensive half, their attacking half, that's a point against us. And again, it's the same emphasis. It's now being so concentrated on the tactical details and responsibilities and the connections we have in the team in every phase of the game that they're never able to get out of their half, and we are controlling the opponent.
This is Leeds, Jesse, yeah?
This is at Leeds. And this is in training. So
explain this setup for us.
So, you know, here we are with our starting group where we have 3 in the back, 2 6s. This is our Luke Ayling playing our wing back here. Jack Harrison's out there. We have a striker and 2 10s. And again, we're trying to manipulate how we play and what our tactics are with the ball. Specifically, we like to overload what we call the red zone. The red zone we call the space in between the opponent's back line and midfield line. And we like to now have dynamic movements, counter movements in those spaces because it's difficult for the back line and the midfield line to know who's supposed to deal with what. And when they're done dynamically, you can't react fast enough to defend. So, but in this, there'll be a few different topics, right? So here we're looking to get to the red zone, play forward, turning inside, and then looking to go vertically with a counter movement, right? Which leads us to goal. Okay, whenever we get the ball in the red zone, we want to turn inside. Now we're pressing and we're closing, pause. And you see how aggressive our back line is. So we just talked before about Branthwaite and how he has to always be on the half turn and ready to step in to defend, but also ready if the body language of the player on the ball is to play behind, that they're ready to react and cover space behind. And certainly you need a goalkeeper as the last defender, but here they don't have that. So the full responsibility falls on the back line to have exactly the proper behavior to deal with the moment.